Have we started yet? But I'm not ready.
You're not ready. Okay. So we are live, and we're going to start the second Aquatic Addicts Anonymous meeting. And uh-oh.
Sorry, that was me. Back feed
okay.
already.
All right. And I don't think we have anybody in chat at the moment. But for the replay crew, we're going to be talking today about multi-tank syndrome. And if you don't know what that means, it means that when you start the hobby and you buy an aquarium, and then before you know it, you have a whole bunch of aquariums all over the place. So, and we have, well, it depends. I mean, how many aquariums we can have.
Well,
but we
at
have
the minute, I've got 2.5 at the minute, Jeff. But
2.5.
I'll be catching you. Well, 2.25, I'd say.
Oh, I bet
but
you
I'll be catching you up.
Well, you got to realize from a small. Oh, we have Mark Shelley. And hello, Mark.
Hello.
Can you hear us? Hello.
Laptop. I've never done this on my laptop before.
Oh, that's all right. You're a little bit dark, but we can hear you just fine.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and go around the room here and introduce. You know Andrew on the upper right hand corner. Right next to you here is Mel, a real good friend from the UK, and this is Mark Shelley. He's the United States Neocaridina shrimp dealer. He's got the best shrimp in the country, I think, and he really does. Got a great channel too. But Mark, what we were just going to be discussing today is the multi-tank syndrome that I know that I absolutely admit that I do have it. It's easy to get and
get into shrimp keeping.
You get start, yeah. Oh yeah, start shrimp. Yeah, start shrimp keeping. You'll have a lot more tanks.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And yeah, I was just saying when I started out, I got my first tank when I was 10 years old, and then over the years now I got just about 30 tanks down here set up, and I'm pretty much at my limit as far as my maintenance goes because it's not easy to maintain so many tanks all at the same time. Because I don't have the fancy automatic water changers. I do everything the old school way.
I was going to actually, well, obviously I haven't got that many tanks, so I was going to ask you a few questions tonight, Jeff, regarding the subject. Just obviously, you know, I'm going to be starting my own fish room, and I just want a few opinions. That's all. I'll just throw them in as we're going, if you don't mind.
Sure. Oh, not at all.
Thank you.
That's great. Absolutely. And Andrew says he doesn't have a problem.
I don't know why you think I have.
Well, it's not so much a problem. Sometimes it's the cure.
I think he's got a problem. Admit it.
I've only got one tank.
Only one tank? I see 3 of them behind you.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, that's one. They're split into 3.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'll just hide this one.
Yeah, just got to hide that one and the one up there, too.
That's Donna's anyway. That's not mine.
Who takes care of it? Oh, where's Mark?
Donna.
We lost Mark.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So we have a few people in chat. Let's go ahead and say a quick hello to them and before we continue.
Hello.
We have John. Hello, John. Welcome.
Hi, John.
Oh, hi, John.
Debs.
Hi, Debs.
Debs is here. Arnold from King's Aquariums.
Hi, Arnold.
We have Gord from
Gord.
Laser. And I know who this is. And we have First Class Fish. Welcome. We have Cody V. And we have Leanne from the Herd Wave Aquatics. Hello, Leanne. Welcome.
Hi, Leanne. Feel free to join.
Yeah, feel free to join. I will Actually, I could actually put the link in the.
Put the link in, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. So while I'm doing that, it's going to take me just a moment to go back and do that. I'll have it here in just a jiff. Okay. All right, here we go. Like this, copy. Now, I'm getting kind of good at this, you guys. Let's see here.
Technical wizard.
I'm getting there. I'm really getting
there.
there.
Hey.
I'm getting kind of good at this, you guys. Let's see here. Okay, now.
Wizard.
Whoops,
Yeah,
and now I will. Yeah, we got a little bit of an echo. It's probably because of my phone here. Oh, yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
I just had to mute it.
Wah, wah.
Oops.
Oops.
What happened there? Finding it difficult to pin that message for some reason. Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm still. Here we go. And I'm not seeing my own. Hello, Mark. Welcome back.
Yeah.
I'm
My
not sure
internet,
why
I
my.
connected to the wrong access point.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well, I'm wondering here, for some reason or another, it's not letting me pin. Oh, there it is. Okay, now we got it.
Good
Let's
lad.
try it again. Let's try it again now.
She was really bad.
Hi, Tommy.
Nope. I'm wondering why it's not letting me pin this message. Pin the link.
I can't do it.
Oh, I can, but I don't know why it's not doing it right now.
But as long as you just keep on dropping it in, give people an opportunity, we'll just keep on bringing that up
Yeah,
as a
that's
topic.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
just
true.
Keep on
I'll do
dropping it
that.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That'll work.
Yeah.
So if anybody would like to join us up here, go ahead and feel free to join in if you'd like.
Yeah.
But we're going to be going over this. So, Mark, how many tanks do you have right now?
Oh, that's better,
Oh, that-
Mark.
Oh, that's better. I can see you now.
Right now, I just took down my guppy pond, so I think that's 31 now. But I'm getting ready.
Wow.
I took that big thing down to put another rack up.
Oh, okay. Also, you're going to have even more then. How many tanks are going to be on the new rack?
Yeah. Well, 5 to start off with.
5? That's
Yeah.
a nice chunk.
You all right?
That's a nice.
Because my thing's acting really wonky.
Oh. Or your phone is?
How do you
I'm on
manage
my
so many
laptop.
tanks?
There's like a.
Like a delay.
It's my full-time job.
Oh, it's your full-time job, is it? All right. I was just going to say, how do you manage that many tanks
Yeah,
effectively?
I think there's like a. I must be on like a.
I couldn't quite hear that.
Hold on a second.
Are you able?
I gotta
Yep.
try a different thing because this ain't working on the laptop.
Right.
Oh, okay, Mark. Okay, Mark. All right.
I'll ask you, Jeff. How do you manage so many tanks effectively?
Well, technically, it's a struggle. Honestly, it's really a struggle. I try to keep up on them as best I can, but every once in a while, like this tank right back here.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a pretty tank right now. I do change the water in it, so I know the water has got to be halfway decent in it, but I haven't tested it. I just basically go by how the fish are doing, and just by keeping the water changes up each week.
Yeah.
But aesthetically, it's not a real pretty tank to look at right now, but I'm working on it.
When you were a working man, did you have less tanks, or did you manage to fit them all in together at the same time?
Well, after COVID hit, most of these tanks come in with COVID. I had 4 tanks before COVID, and I usually had about 4 to 5 tanks throughout my fish keeping hobby.
Yeah.
But when COVID hit, I kind of everything just kind of took off.
Exploded. Yeah.
It exploded.
That's basically when I started mine as well. Was through COVID, just being stuck in the house, and you were ordering stuff off Amazon and sneaking out of the fish shop when they opened up.
Yep. It seems like once I got past 4 tanks, it just started rolling down the hill. Then, I started out with the stand here behind me, and I got 2 75-gallon tanks.
Yeah.
And then I liked those so well, then I got 2 more. And then filled the rest of the room up with 29-gallon tanks and 20-gallon long tanks.
Yeah.
I got a couple. Well, I got 160-liter tanks.
Yeah.
And I just get one species of fish, and I want to do something else, and I got to get another tank.
Right.
And it just keeps growing. It's like a organic growth of a fish room. Yeah. Now, the way you're doing it, I like better.
Well,
Market.
I'm basically just doing community tanks at the minute, just to get a bit more room to separate them.
Okay.
So once I get a bit more room, when I've made the fish room downstairs, then I'll have more room. I'll have a few more community tanks, but probably a few species only bigger tanks, and then just take it from there.
Yes.
What about you, Andrew? How many tanks you got all in your career? Have you had multiple, or
One.
Is it just?
I've just got one.
In your whole career?
Yeah, everywhere. Just one tank. I don't have any
All
more.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you might have had a few more over your lifetime, and then just strip them back.
Yeah. Probably about 4 or 5 until I've sort of
Is that the max you've run at once? Was that the max you've run at once?
One at once, yeah. Sorry,
and you have the one tank running right now?
Yeah, I don't have any more. No.
Oh.
You were
I
mean, when we spoke to you earlier, I said I've only got 1, maybe 3 or more, but I just the one really.
Ah. Okay.
I'm trying to get set up properly.
that sounds a lot better, Mark.
It is a lot better, Mark.
Yeah, I've got about 20.
About 20 tanks. 20 tanks.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I knew you were pulling my leg. I knew you had more than one.
I thought, where's all these fry going if he's only got one tank?
I knew that wasn't true. That's the reason I was like, wait a second now. Well,
Keeps them in the bathtub, Jeff.
And to the people out and to everybody in the chat right now, you got to remember, denial is the first sign that you have a problem.
Yeah. Oh, I'm cured then. See you later. Bye.
No, you're. Well, I'm not really saying this. It's not really a problem per se. It's just.
You can see my packing mess behind me.
Oh, I can't see it. I can't see it well. No. So how many? Have you been packing today?
No, that's on Tuesdays and Fridays. I do that.
Tuesdays and Fridays. Oh, that's right. Because that's when you ship out on those 2 days.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. I try to ship out on Monday. I try to keep it on Monday. That way, it's always before the weekend.
I used to always do it on Fridays because I always was out of town for work Monday through Thursday. So I had to do it on Friday.
So it's got to be a lot easier. It's easier for you now that this is your full-time job now. So you can concentrate fully on your tanks and in shipping and packing and
Monday and Wednesday and Thursday are like making YouTube videos and working on projects and that kind of thing. And then also, shipping usually takes about half a day. So then
half a day. I tell you, I did my last shipping. It wasn't an order. I was sending it to a friend, and I sent a friend of mine some shrimp. And I tell you, every time I ship something out, I get nervous.
I used to be that way.
Used to be that way.
I ship out anywhere from like 10 to 30 every week. But when
Wow.
I order something, it's like, oh my God, I'm so worried because I rarely get new stuff. But let me tell you, when I got that order of fancy red tigers, I about had a heart attack worrying about that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's something new though. I mean, it's a totally different water parameter, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I'm still too scared to try the caradinas myself. I mean, the neocaradinas, I got them down pat pretty well, but
Yeah.
might have to try them sometime.
Yeah. I'm definitely still trying to figure those out. It's like right now, my whole back room's a mess from tearing down that. That's why I'm doing it right here. Because
Yeah.
I got crap everywhere.
Ah.
I had that 110-gallon stock tank pond set up like 2 or 3 years before I had any of my tanks going. Well, I had one other tank going, but I mean that thing had been going for years and years.
Yeah. So when you're got into the tanks heavily, was that with your shrimp or was it another
Well, I'd
fish
actually
or?
been obsessed with outside ponds, like mainly goldfish ponds,
Oh, okay.
for a long time. And then I got into, if the dog don't knock down the tripod I got set up here. But then I had oh, then where was I at? I lost track. The dog jumped on me.
About you were obsessed with your goldfish ponds.
Yeah. And then I started watching YouTube videos. You know, I'd been keeping tanks for all my whole life, and then I was crazy into ponds. And then I started watching YouTube videos, and I saw these people with racks of tanks. You know, I never even knew that was a thing. That you could have a rack of tanks in your house. That was like the fish store. You know.
That's like it's like the LFS, isn't it? But home.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, my head started turning. I was like, ah. When I first started getting all the tanks, it was mainly to do guppies. And it turned out I didn't even know what a cherry shrimp was until like 7 years ago.
Is there any special factors you're taking into consideration now, or when you're choosing shrimp or fish?
What was that again? The first part of your question?
Sorry, I'm just saying, is there any special factors you're taking into consideration when you're choosing shrimp or fish?
Well, for me to breed, whenever I haven't got a new Neo in over 5 years now, and that's all
Right.
I breed and sell. So like that's the main key is not always having stuff coming in, going. You know,
Yeah.
you have new stuff coming in. You get new plants from here. You get a new shrimp from here. You get a fish from here. I mean, you're just multiplying your chances of issues.
Yeah.
And so, I'm crazy about limiting what is in my tanks. I mean, that's been the biggest key. And I learned because I got screwed real bad on guppies, and I battled internal parasites for years. And as my guppy colonies are fading, like screw it, shrimp will do good in there. And so I just started putting shrimp in there, and then here I have it.
Brilliant.
But then I figured out how to get the guppies healthy. Finally, it's like I could keep them breeding, but I had to keep retreating.
Yeah.
And by the time I figured out bendazole is how I had to beat it, because I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on Praziquantel and Pro, and it kept them going, but they barely bred just a little bit, just barely to keep the lines going. And some lines I lost. I ended up losing a lot of my lines, and so now with shrimp, I'm extra crazy about.
Yeah. Especially when it's your business and it's your bread and butter now, isn't it?
Yeah. Till I buy my food for me and my kids and my wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, it is.
So what did you do? Sorry, go on, Jeff.
Oh, I was going to say he also has a nice strain of guppies that he's been breeding. I've been watching on his channel.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
I almost got rid of guppies because in the past, guppies have cost more money and meds and all the crap you deal with than I've ever made selling them. I mean, the guppies are like I've lost 20 times more than I've ever made.
Is that because they're so interbred now, guppies, and they're so overbred that they tend to be a bit weaker?
Yeah, yeah. And then like the two lines that I've had, they've survived everything. An old school red mosaic line and an old school Japan blue line. And I created a mix of those, and I've been working on those a couple of years, and I've got them pretty nice now. And I got my old goldfish pond going outside during the summer to put my slug breeders out there, and now I've got probably thousands of guppies out there for the summer.
So what did you do beforehand, Mark? Before you made your hobby your passion for life?
I worked for utility contractors.
Did you? That's the same as me. I worked for the electricity board.
I did vegetation management. I did a little bit of tree work, but mainly herbicide work.
Was it for to clear the lines and things like that? Make sure there was no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, like, I went in and cleaned up after hurricanes. Helping people get the power back on, and when the linemen are too scared to go in and go, we got to go in. They ground it out 3 blocks away, and we go in there. I was in Miami, Florida, and a whole tree got uprooted, and the tree wasn't in the power line. The roots in half the yard was in the power line. It's like, oh my gosh.
We had it stormed, I think probably about 2 years ago now, called Storm. Was it Alwyn or something like that? But that caused a load of damage in the northeast of England. I mean, Kielder Forest is one of the biggest the biggest man-made forests in Europe. And the amount of damage there and power lines down was unbelievable. I got sent up to Scotland to put someone's gas back on up in Scotland on that night when the storm hit.
Really?
And I had to follow the snow plough for 2 hours to get home on the night time. I had to follow the snow plough back down.
Yeah.
It felt like
that's all I did. In the last 5 years, I worked for natural gas pipelines.
Yeah.
That's who I did a little bit of power line stuff, but it's mainly but yeah. That was I felt like all I did is drive and stay in hotels, and because I worked for
you're away from home a lot.
Pardon?
You're away from home a lot.
Yeah, you would have been part of the team.
I'd leave the house.
Yeah.
I'd leave the house Monday morning, and I'd get home anywhere between like 5:30 and midnight on Thursday, and then I had Friday, Saturday. And if I worked real far away, depending on the utility contractor I was working for, they'd make you leave Sunday night. And so I'd have to leave Sunday night and stay in a hotel Sunday night. So I wasn't 4 or 5 hours away from the job site Monday morning. So
that makes it hard for a young family. You're trying to be home with your kids and wife, and
I missed a lot. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, now you're home. Now you're living the dream. You're living my dream.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping to turn.
24/7-hour babysitter now.
Well, my kids are old now, but I missed a lot with them growing up for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you can make the most of it now. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is anything you consider, Andrew? Anything you consider when you're picking a fish, or is it just whatever catches your eye?
I think it's mainly what catches my eye, but
you not go for any streams in them?
Well, the ones that Donna, she likes the plex.
Yeah.
So if she sees a pleck that's over like 4 inches, then that's hers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's laughing.
It's easy to do.
Mm-hmm. But no, I had I was into angels for for a little bit, and then but I've switched from angels more back to goldfish, which is what I've always done. I've always had goldfish, and then I switched to tropical. Now I'm switching back again.
Yeah. Do you do the goldfish ponds as well, Andrew, or is it just mainly in the house you do?
I've got one pond outside. I've got a 4-foot tank in the greenhouse, which has the fry in it, and then I've got I do have a small tub outside, which has got 5 blackmores in it at the moment, just growing on. But I'm limited on space, so
Yeah.
I can't have a lot.
And weather as well in this country, isn't it? It changes so quickly. You'd be forever trying to fish them out your ponds and bring them in the house.
So, well, I mean, the fancy goldfish won't really survive our winters. They need to come inside. But I mean, things like shabunkins or koi, they'll happily stay outside.
That's how my pond started off. I had the goldfish outside, and I added some fancy ones, and I had to bring them in during the winter. That's how it got started.
That's what got started.
Yeah.
Well, the fancy ones are easy to catch though. They're kind of rotund a little bit, aren't they?
They are. You just catch them in your hand.
You can stick your hand in. You don't even need a net. You just snatch them up.
They're not quick.
I see some. They're just kind of like they're just kind of wiggling through the water, you know.
At our old house, which was like 20 years ago. Well, not quite 20, but like probably 18 or 19 years ago. My oldest, she's 20 now, but when she was little, we'd have the little wading pools outside. I'd put dechlorinator in it, and I'd just go up to my pond I had back then at that house, scoop up a couple in my hand, set it down in there, and she'd play around, swim with the fish.
Mm-hmm.
She had a good time with that.
Yeah.
Oh, could I mention something real quick to Silver Creek? Hey, Tommy, I'm sorry I missed your stream today. I was so busy trying to get things around, and I wasn't able to make it. So you know that I like to support you, but I'll go back and watch the replay. So I just wanted to let you know that. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I just wanted to mention that because I noticed that I try to catch a lot of the streams around this time of day. But
I didn't even realize Tommy did. I knew Melvin did. I didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't
Tommy does
Tommy
Wednesdays 2:30 to 3:30, so it's right before we start.
Right.
Oh, he didn't stream today. He says. Wait a second here. Oh,
I thought nothing's come up for Tommy the day for me.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes me feel better then. It could be because I've never seen
you
anything.
You can jump on ya, Tommy. Take my place.
Well, there's room for 6, so you can stay put too. Anybody want? I just sent this link up. Let me do it again here. If you'd like to go ahead and jump on, Tommy, you're more than welcome. I know you're an addict like the rest of us, at least. Except for Andrew, he's not. He doesn't have a problem.
I don't have a problem.
I know it. Well, we don't either. It's just kind of like sometimes.
Jeff, I think Andrew's just here for eye candy.
Yeah.
One for the ladies.
Right.
Yeah.
So you prefer the goldfish, though, Andrew, over tropical fish. Is that right? Or do you have a equal...
Well, I think
are you equally...
I prefer the goldfish because I find them a lot more interactive with you. I mean, Mark, you'll find the same, that you have your special goldfish, don't you? And they're so interactive with you. I mean, I had a black called Shirley, and if I put my hand in the tank, she would swim up to me, and she'd want to sit in my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't even have to catch them. I could just stick my hand in there, and there'd be a couple of them that would just go right up in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a pity they can't talk to you.
Well, the cichlids do the same. Cichlids are pretty similar, though. They're really interactive.
Oh yeah. My favorite fish I ever had were great big green severums in a 75-gallon tank in my 20s.
Oh yeah.
Those were my favorite fish.
Those are nice fish.
Yeah.
I seen Mel has some angelfish.
Yeah.
They're beautiful, though.
Oh, nice. I do like
They're beautiful fish. Oh, you don't like them?
No, I do like them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which of those? Are they the red devils or the koi ones?
Yeah, the koi. Koi, but they've got nearly all the black spread out of them, so they look more like the orange caps.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
and then the top tank, I've got. Is it Manacapro or Manacapua? How do you pronounce it?
I know the one you mean. Yeah. I don't know.
Silver Creek says he'll turn up on his laptop here in a moment. Okay.
Great.
Great.
Well, I guess using my laptop is out of the question, man. My laptop just couldn't do it. That's the first time I ever tried to stream on it.
Now you're on your phone. You're on your phone right now?
Yeah, I set up one of my tripods with a light on it. And
Well, I tell you what, it's great. It does a perfect job.
Well, my phone's like $1,800 and my laptop's $400, so I guess it figures.
Yeah.
I got the best Android phone you can get, and then I got just a basic laptop.
Right now I'm on my wife's iPad, but I have the iPhone for most of my videos. I do most of my videoing with it. Okay.
Yeah,
so
this phone I have is all my YouTube videos. I have a laptop just to do like some spreadsheet stuff for my business part of it,
I just want to point out here also, guys, real quick. I don't mean to interrupt you there, Mark. We have George Aquaballs in the chat, and I don't know if you've ever seen his channel, but he is a master breeder. He might not say that, but I'm going to. He has a fish room, and he breeds everything you could ever imagine, and does a great job. I just wanted to point that out. Thank you, George, for being here. I just wanted to tell you it's an honor to have you in the chat. Sorry. I keep breaking in on you guys' conversation. I'm so sorry.
You're the host, you can.
I know.
Got to keep on track.
I know it. We got to keep on track here. That's right. So you guys keep me on track. It'll be good. Oh, there we go. Whoops. Somebody popped on back in. Okay.
Yeah, Mo.
Oh, all right.
No, I haven't touched anything.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's doing it again.
Yeah, you disappeared and came straight back in again.
Your connection must have kicked out for a second or something.
All right.
Right back.
George is George. You are George, definitely. And in fact, I put the link. Anytime you'd like to join on the live stream, you're more than welcome to, George.
So, Jeff, what is the cure? How do we stop buying?
Well,
tanks?
For me, I get to a certain point where I'm pretty much. My answer is at my limit.
I was speaking to Donna just outside of me.
Oh yeah. What's her answer? I would like to hear that.
What's your answer? Lock me in the cellar.
Lock you in the cellar? Well, for me, it's like if I can keep up with the maintenance and, of course, my passion for keeping and breeding fish is more than alive. It's probably at the all-time high right now that I've had it over the years even.
Yeah.
So I guess right now what I do for mine is I get to a point where I have a fish for a certain amount of time, like the African cichlids here. I've had them for a while. But now I'm getting into the wild-type bettas and the epistogrammas and some other very interesting fish. And so I'm basically transitioning, I'll try to migrate some fish out. I'm doing the neocaridina shrimp. It's basically keeping it fresh that way. Kind of just like maybe a migration, I guess I'd call it. Migrating away from certain species and then bringing new ones in.
Do you try to match the water to the fish, Jeff, or do you just match the fish to your water?
Well, mostly the fish to my water, because usually I don't want to try to adjust it too much. I know that with my wild type bettas they're all captive bred that I have, and they're I put Indian almond leaves and other botanicals in the water to help create the tannic acid that they enjoy.
The pH at the lake as well.
And it brings the pH down a little bit also. And so that seems to work, and it works for the epistos. I don't have an RO unit. I don't have any RO filter or nothing, but I mean, if it got to a point where I needed it to breed some of these fish, I might consider it, but mostly I just use tap water.
Yeah, well, when I first paid, I bought an RO unit just from them cheap ones off Amazon.
Yeah.
But then I realized that all my fish are in the pet shop where it's got the same water as me, and he's not using RO water. So I'm just going to copy whatever the fish shop's got.
Yeah, well, you can do that, and as long as you have that. Hey, we have Tommy here. Add to stream. Where does that at
Tommy.
here?
How's it going?
Is he on? Hey, Tommy, welcome.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Hi, my name's Tommy, and I'm a life addict.
That's right.
How many tanks a day are you on, Tommy?
How many tanks a day?
Too many. No.
Too many.
I just lost one to maybe add 5 or 9 more.
We all need our fixes, right?
Well, just have one stock tank when you can stack them to the ceiling.
Yeah, exactly. You can always buy a ladder.
One tank's
You
too
borrow-
little and
borrow
100's not
Andrew's.
enough.
What was that, Mel?
I'm saying you can always borrow your ladder if it gets too high.
I'll need
Oh,
that
I got
to
tanks where I got like this much space between the top of the tank and the ceiling.
That's that's what I'm trying to take into consideration for the ones I'm making downstairs. Trying to make enough room where I can get in comfortable.
I'll tell you, I'm not doing any more 4 tanks
Yeah.
high. 3 tanks high that's my limit now.
That's
I'm too
a
old to
limit.
do that. Them 4th ones, man, those are rough.
That's one thing about my fish room. I got everything on one level, all except for one rack, and I got it too high. I got one off the ground about maybe 2 feet, maybe 1.5 feet, and the other second level, so I can do all the maintenance work standing on the floor. But everything else is all on one level. I have right here where the screen is. I got a stand that has all my tanks lined up around on a big cinder block and 2x4 stand. So it makes my maintenance really easy. So I'm able to maintain what I got here pretty easily. And the ones upstairs are all on one level as well. I got the 5 tanks upstairs, and then I got the 20 something down here.
Heck yeah, that helps. The only one that I have issue with is like the one here right behind my head, and it's not that tall, but there's only like what Mark was saying. There's like this much space between it and the ceiling there, so I have to stand on my chair and then like tuck myself in like I'm trying to fit in an overhead compartment on an airplane.
On my 4th layer tanks, you gotta be 6 foot tall and stand on your tiptoes just to see above the substrate.
Yeah, that's how this one right here is. If I wasn't 6'4", I wouldn't be able to like reach my hand into it.
Yeah.
It's a 2 foot tall.
Yeah.
Oh,
The only thing that saves me is there's an attic access hole right there above the tank, so I can stick my head up in the attic access and then look down and reach down into the tank. So I'm standing on the top ladder or top step of a ladder, trying not to fall to my death and have tanks fall on me. And it's like, oh my God, if I fall, just fall. Don't pull the tanks down on you.
It's funny you should say that, Mark. Donna's got an SUV, and when I'm washing the car, I can't reach the top or the centre of the top.
Oh yeah.
Right, and there's a reason for it. It's this. It gets in the way, right?
Yeah.
I fixed it, and I don't need to go on a diet. I open the door, and then my tummy fits inside the car.
Just wind the window down.
Yeah,
If
that's
you're not
another one.
steering with your belly, you're all right.
That's a good thing, though, Andrew. You can clean the windows as you do on the top by just doing that. Multitask. Who says you cannot multitask?
Oh yeah,
It's like
me.
It's like those wipe it down videos. Wipe,
Yeah.
wipe.
Do
Wipe
one
it
of them.
down. Wipe.
Andrew, do one of them, but use them already.
We've got Daniel in chat.
Oh,
Hey, Doc.
Daniel. Hello, my friend. All right. Daniel, you busy right now?
It's like for you always. No.
Let me see if he's busy.
I will be.
Yeah.
I do have room for. There's room for another.
5 minutes, we'll come up with an excuse.
He put out another video today.
Yeah, I just watched it before this one.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Fixing
Not
his
a
tubes.
It's a steering grip.
That sounded wrong, didn't it? Fixing
thought-
his tubes.
I'll let him wait for Not a beer belly, no, it's a steering grip. Yeah.
I can barely hear you, Andrew.
But you can barely hear me.
Yeah. Is it just
Don't
me?
worry.
I can hear everybody well.
Is that better? I have turned my mic down.
Oh.
I can hear
it's
you.
a little
Andrew.
better. I could hear you, but that's a little better.
Yeah,
Is that better?
Probably. I'm probably just half deaf because of all of the birds squawking.
Oh, I am deaf from chainsaws and chippers and motors. Yeah, I really am because.
Yeah, I live out in the creeks. I get that, man. We've always got some kind of machine going out here.
Yeah.
Okay, Daniel, I see that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, does anybody have any questions in the chat or in the panel that we'd like to ask anybody else about anything?
You know when you've got multiple tanks, and you say like you want about disease before, Mark, do you just treat that full tank, or do you try to separate them and have separate like hospital tanks?
Well, what I ended up having to do is treating every tank I had.
Yeah. Is it probably more wiser just to do that? Is it than to try and separate?
Well, it depends how good you are about keeping separate hoses and sterilizing nets and.
Yeah.
I mean, I never really was. I really haven't been now. I just am really strict on not adding new stuff. Now, I do plan on getting some new Neos, and I'm going to be real strict on. I want to buy separate hoses and all that for them.
Yeah.
Hey, don't fix it, man. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
There's a little Tommy.
It's not plant. Do what?
There's a little Tommy.
It is.
Well, hello there, young man.
It's my baby.
Hello. You got a real nice daddy there. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you do. He's a good man.
He's a funny man. Does he make you laugh?
He makes me laugh.
He makes you laugh? Do you like fish there, young man? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's great.
His place to do schoolwork is sitting right here facing this tank.
Oh, nice.
Little fold-out table in here, and he'll come in here and do his schoolwork in here and just stare at the tank when he's doing his schoolwork.
Oh, that's nice. Very nice. I wish I had that when I was doing my schoolwork. All I had was a little 10-gallon.
Going over biology today in front of a fish tank? All right.
I had my first rack when I was 12. I had a 20-gallon and a 10-gallon underneath it in my bedroom.
Wow.
I always had a 10-gallon, but then my mom and dad got me another 20-gallon for like my 12th birthday. And so then I technically had a rack when I was 12.
I just read that.
Oh, that Daniel's question? I have a question. If Andrew is on hard water, Mel on hard, Jeff on 7.0, and Mark on RO, how come Tommy's the only one on the panel that has hair? Well, I don't know. I got a little bit.
I don't think I'm bald.
Mine's growing back. I need to...
Need to get the razor out again.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say? Bald guys have, well, not necessarily, but most of the time, bald guys have nicer fish rooms. Not always. Not always.
Take no bottles into the shower.
Yes.
If you're bald, that shower better not take any more than 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. I just washed my face down like that.
That's great. It's always interesting to to see about that, you know, the different waters and stuff. Let me see.
So if you've got multi-tank syndrome, then does that mean that the addiction includes sort of like going to shows?
It could, I think. I've never been to a show because there's none near me. I'd have to travel hundreds of miles to get to one. But if I could get to a show, I'd get there. You know.
Yeah. Well,
if it involved.
I went to a big swap meet and I had to drive all the way to Iowa for it. And I'm gonna have a booth and everything at the
Keystone Clash, right?
The Keystone Clash. Yep, coming
Yeah.
up here at the end of September.
Oh, I'd love to go to that.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't know if I'll
gonna
be-
drive like 10 hours to get. That's a 10-hour drive for me.
I'd be flying if I had to go. There's no way I could drive it.
Yeah.
So you're Kansas or just southwest of Kansas?
I'm in Indiana.
Okay, Indiana. I'm in Texas. Yeah. It's a little bit further than that. But
Yeah,
I'm be at Keystone Clash next year. I was really wanting to go this year, but there's no way that's in the cards.
Yeah.
Swing that if I had all the angels on my side.
Yeah.
Speaking of Texas, I want to save up and go to the Aquashella in Dallas next year.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to that.
Too.
Like I've never even really been to these things before, and I'm setting up a vendor booth, so I don't even know what to do. I'll probably look like, who is this jackass?
I tell you, when everybody's in there and they see you, Mark, I bet you're gonna get swamped.
Oh, I don't know.
I bet. I bet
Maybe.
you will.
You're gonna get that. Do you know who you are?
They're gonna walk in and say,
I don't really show myself that much in my videos, so people probably don't even know what I look like.
But they'll recognize your voice when they hear you. Says, "Hey, that's the guy that has all the Neocaridina shrimp."
Yeah,
and they're gonna be on you.
The guy that stumbles and stutters and sounds like a moron.
No, you do a great job. No, that's me. That's me. Oh, Leanne says she.
No, she's not. She's staying. Red laser.
Oh.
Red laser.
Leanne.
Read it wrong.
Okay, Gordon. See you later.
Okay.
I think Gordon says he was leaving.
No, I don't know because Leanne put, "Hi guys, sorry I'm back. Had to do with something." And then
welcome
straight
back.
afterwards, Red Laser says, "Bye, Leanne." So I don't know whether it misread it.
Oh, okay. All right. And George went to a reptile. I used to have reptiles. I had some leopard geckos and some anoles and some other things. I never had any snakes or anything, but I've been to a few of those. I don't have any reptiles at the moment, but they are cool. I like the polydariums and stuff. I watch that on George's channel. He's got some frogs and some other things that are really cool.
When I was a kid, I kept a terrarium with anoles. Those are the only little lizards I've ever kept, but it was fun.
Yeah,
they wanted to just keep them in a cage, as like I always wanted them, and I was like, I was just a kid, and I was like, I want to put some house plants in there, and and dirt, and I did the layer of gravel, the layer of charcoal, I did all that stuff. I don't know how I knew it. I think I read a library book. That was back before the internet when I was a kid.
Knowledge.
So, I have a question for all the panel and people in the chat. Since all of you have been keeping fish, what has been your number one challenge that you've had the hardest time with since you've been doing so? And we can start with Andrew and work our way around the panel, and then anybody in the chat can. Or do you want to go?
No. I mean, I'm just thinking about that one.
It's a good question.
What was the hardest challenge?
Yeah, the hardest thing you ever had to do while keeping fish.
Hunting down new tanks.
That was the hardest. Okay.
Well, I mean, you've had the same problem, haven't you, Mel?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what you want, but you can't get it.
Yeah. Because stupidly, I've made the racks to a certain size, and now trying to get them certain sizes is harder than I thought.
Well, over there, it's a lot harder, and they're more expensive to get them. Right?
Oh, it's ridiculous where they are, Mark, compared to. I think we're on about this. Was it last week on your show, Andrew, when you used to have that $1 a gallon sale?
Oh, we got the Petco sale. I love it.
Aye.
That's it
wasn't
unreal.
Well, they don't really do $1 per gallon anymore, but they had been for years. Now it's half price.
Yeah, 50%.
So you can still get a 20-gallon tank for like $23. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty close to the $1 per gallon thing.
Yeah, I think a 20-gallon tank's like $45 or $50 now, and
I picked up a couple of the 40-gallon breeders here the last sale, and I'm glad I got that.
All 8 of my 40s on that big rack I got with 8 40s, those were all $40 tanks. I paid $40 for every one of those.
You got those in the actual dollar. See, I paid 55 for mine.
Yeah. My Caradina tank is a 40-gallon, and I got that on the half price 40-gallon. I think they're $95 now, and so you get them for like $48.
Oh, then here we go. We do have some responses. We'll start up here. Swiffle Aquatic says keeping filters clean. Yeah, that can be. I noticed that I got a lot of sponge filters to clean out. That's a good one. We have Aquaballs. George says putting down a 6 fish is always hard. It is. Whoops. It is very hard. And
that's okay. That's okay that it's hard.
Yes, it is. It's
you wouldn't want that to be easy. You'd be kind of
that's right. That's right. Well, I tell you, when you watch
like a sushi chef.
Yes.
So like, I'm mad at the old lady. I want to kill this sick fish.
Yeah.
Daniel says challenge.
Gather around, kids.
You're wired wrong if that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Daniel's biggest challenge is wanting all the things, but only having so many tanks. You know what? That is a very valid problem. I'm with you on that one. And knowing your limitations, I think, knowing your limitations is my big problem. Because I'm at the point now where it's like, I could go whole hog and I got enough room down here, I could get myself in a lot of trouble. But I don't want to get in that trouble, so I'm just trying to keep a lid on it.
Well, don't you think getting into trouble with fish is better than getting into trouble with other women?
Well, that's not going to.
Is that an option?
No. There's not an option there. Yeah, I just tried.
Your life was killed in the Tetra. You have a pretty good life.
I think Andrew's been looking on the wrong websites. He's been looking at plenty of fish. Dating websites.
Dating website.
Oh, here,
past that.
Now did you go? Are they waiting on me?
LJ Shrimp got Cardinal Silhouette shrimp last week. Nervous wreck. Oh yeah.
How hot are you keeping them? I think they got to be like at least 85, don't they?
8.5, yeah.
85.
We know
85 degrees Fahrenheit, so that would be what Celsius? That'd probably be like high 20s.
About 30.
Maybe close to 30.
About 29.5.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you got to be in extremely hard water, but it has to be, what is it now? It's high pH.
It's like
and low
8.5 pH, but the TDS is only like 110 on those guys. It's weird. Yeah.
I could achieve, you could achieve that with a aragonite or crushed coral and with the regular hard water, but then you'd have to cut it down with some RO, I think. Like maybe
it'd probably be better just to start with RO because I've got here and trying to run anything that can't handle a TDS of like 500 to 800 plus. It's like impossible. I mean, it's better. Like I have one shrimp tank that I don't put tap water in, and it's just RO only, and it's a little 7-gallon cube that I have. But like trying to dilute or break down TDS it's a headache. I think it's just a lot easier.
You're better off to start from zero.
Yep, exactly.
And put what you need back in.
Yep.
I find that as well, Tommy, because obviously with evaporation, the TDS just stays in the tank. And you're constantly trying to fight it, aren't you, when you're trying to dilute it?
Yeah. Yeah, and mine are in a shed, so evaporation is real, especially in Texas.
Yeah,
shed,
especially in Texas, yeah.
I'm at 90, so like 31.5 C in the shed. So
yeah, wow.
I'd
have sweat dripping off my nose if it was if I was in 90 degrees right now.
Well, I've got an AC, but it mostly blows on the tanks.
Yeah.
I have it more to where it's cooling where they are off than where I am.
Now back here where all my tanks are, it does get to be about 84, 85 a lot of times because the dehumidifier I have running on high 24/7. I mean, that's like having a mini heater. And when
keeps.
I mean, it helps the air conditioning by removing the humidity, but not back here because it's blowing hot air out the.
Yep.
You know, it's an air conditioner in reverse, is what it is. You know.
Yeah.
Just flip it around.
Yeah. It's air conditioner with the fan blowing the other way. It's with a drip tray.
I got the air on, and I'm in the basement, and it's still hot. I'm sitting down here, and it's probably high 70s down here right now.
Yeah.
Normally it's a little cooler than that, but I had to turn it on a little bit because I don't want the fish to get too hot down here. So yeah, that's that's a good point. You know, when we keeping our fish, if we have a problem with keeping the right fish in the right water, and not chasing the parameters around.
Yeah,
that's a valid point. You know, my African cichlids, they're good for that. But like I say, I'm trying to move out of that area into other stuff.
Yeah, so like with my guppies, I took them right out of my liquid rock that I raise all my neos in, tossed them in my Caridina tank with a TDS back then. It was like 120, and they didn't even act like anything was different. They just went about their business.
Oh wow!
I put them in there just to cycle the tank. You know, it was brand new. And they didn't care. And then when the tank was cycled, I scooped them out and threw them back in the hard water, and they're none for the worse. I mean, they don't care.
Yeah, they're like, we're Poecilia, we got this.
With them a shrimp, I mean, if they get a big change too quick, you'll lose the whole tank. You know.
Yeah.
Because of their exoskeleton and shedding and all that.
I've never kept shrimp, but I've watched a few videos where they're acclimating them with the drip acclimating. It looks very complicated.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. That's easy.
Not that bad.
No.
That's easy, is it?
Yeah.
Now, my Neo tanks, which is 99% of what I have, it's just tap water. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I drain it out as fast as I can suck it out, and I fill them back up as fast as the hose running from my sink will fill them back up, and they're fine. But they've been used to it.
What do you get out your tap?
It's around 300 TDS.
So that's probably moderate or hard, is it?
Yeah, it's really hard. My pH is around 8.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think mine comes about 7.8 or 8 out of the tap.
Yeah, lots of KH and lots of GH in my water.
Now, see, that's where we differ. My KH is almost nil. I mean,
and I think that's why your pilomoss struggles, because there's been other people that have. The only people I've had that have struggled with the pilomoss is people that have high GHs but almost 0 KH. Yeah, and those people struggle a lot. Now I've had a guy with the same situation, and he put a lot of fertilizers and got it to do all right.
Yeah.
But if you have low GH and low KH, it does good, because it does good in my Caridina tank.
Buffers. Like if you could remineralize that low KH water and get electrolytes or something in the water that are like not harmful to your system, that helps for sure. Yeah.
Well,
no, Jimmy's
naturally my tap is its pH is 7, hardness of 10, and a KH of 3. So.
See, my KH and GH are 15 plus.
Oh, the 15 plus, are they? Wow.
Yeah. So we were mentioning that. So I
but because of that high KH, my water, I can take the water down to 90% and fill it right back up, and that pH will stay exactly the same with all that buffering.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got low KH. I have to have, like I say, crushed coral. I keep that pilomoss in the tank with crushed coral or with aragonite, and that keeps the KH buffered, you know. But without that, after the water ages a little bit, a week or two, I noticed that my tanks upstairs. This is, I guess, as long as we're still on that topic of what is the most difficult challenge, I guess that's probably it. When I figured that out, I was able to keep everything so much more stable by adding a little bit of crushed coral to some of my tanks. Like with my black molly. Yeah, my black mollies love the hard water, so I keep them on an African cichlid substrate, and they just love it.
Yeah, and with Caridina, that's why you got to have the soil to be an acidic buffer. because they can't have any KH because that makes your acidic buffer be no good.
I'm thinking I might need to use that until I get my RO. Use that for my apistos and my wild type bettas because they need a little bit softer water than what I'm providing, I think. I've been following along.
Could you add peat moss to bring that down, or?
Yes. In fact,
The
I'm going to grab
pH will go down, but your TDS will still be high. I mean, your hardness will still be
right
hard.
back.
Still be there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends how you look at it. I mean, the actual mineral content's still going to be the same. It's just the pH is going to come down.
Oh, good. If you eat eggs, so Jeff, if you eat eggs, you could have a blender. You could save a little bit of money instead of having to buy the aragonite or the crushed coral. You can stick those eggs in a blender with some water. And
the eggshell,
down into small pieces, and that will help. Because the problem with eggshell is people just put in like big chunks of eggshell and it takes forever to break down. But if you put it through to where it freaking pulverizes it almost into powder, it's gonna almost instantly be ready to go to work. Like as soon as the tank is cycled, it's ready.
Well, I had the eggshells. I was talking to Jeff. About 6 months ago, wasn't it, Jeff? And he said because I needed to get some calcium in the water, and Jeff said just put some eggshells in. So I ground them all down as best as I could into a powder, and they would not mix into the water. They just floated on the surface for absolutely ages.
Yeah, you've got to either put it down into the substrate itself or under the substrate, or use like a small fine media bags or something like you would for a root tab and put it down like you would a root tab.
Yeah. So that's something Good, Jeff.
I'm sorry. I just noticed that Tommy put this in the chat. He's on the hunt for killifish too. So am I. I'm looking for some Gardnerite.
No, I'm like really wanting to go out and find them in the wild. I've found out
in the wild
that there's certain killifish that are popping up in the springs here in Texas in my area, and I'm stoked, like beyond stoked, because it's the bluefins, the bluefin killies, and they're not supposed to be here. So or in this area. So people have talked about them coming up in the springs, and I'm wanting to go check the spring that's down at the end. It's deep. I mean, deep. Like we have jumped off of trees when I was a kid. We would jump off of trees and dive down as low as we could, and we would get scared before we could even get close to hitting the bottom. I mean, we would as far down as we could go, and there was no hitting the bottom. This thing has never dried up. In the 25 years that I've been around it, I'm like antsy to go back out there again and see what type of life is in it, what type of fish. I know there's a lot of different sunfish and crappie. I know there's a bunch of bass in it as well, and catfish. But as far as like the smaller fish, like the killies and the shiners and stuff like that, I'm really curious to see what's going to pop up in that.
Do you see mollies down there?
I haven't seen any yet. Not down there. I mean, back
Thank
here
you,
yet.
Daniel. Thank you very much, Daniel.
But I want to go look, because the last time I went down there, I didn't have the knowledge of fish.
Thank you.
That I do now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So now I'm just like, wow, because it used to be our spot. When I was a kid, that's where we had like half pipe vert ramps for our bicycles to jump in there. It was, insert country road creek spring that you had a rope attached to a tree and every other thing wild adrenaline junkie kids could do, and that's what we were doing down there. So I never thought of it like that, and now I'm just like, I've got to go check it out. What have I been missing this whole time? Yeah, I'm hoping.
But here's the peat moss that I have. I haven't opened it up yet, but I have these little bags also that if I want to lower the pH, I can put this in it, and I can put it either in the substrate or I can put it in like the back of a HOB filter. And I was thinking of using that to make water for like water changes for my bettas. Just kind of use like a 10-gallon tank and just use it as a water maker basically to do my water changes.
Yeah.
Fill up one of these bags with it and then just run it for about a week and let it get nice and soften the water up. Just an idea. I've never, like I say, I'm not an expert by any means, but you know, I do some research a little bit, but it should help.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to use peat moss as a humic material, I found another option, and it works freaking great, especially in planted tanks. But a very little bit goes a very long way.
Oh, what is that?
Humic.
Humic. Oh, okay.
It's a granular humic acid, and seriously, like this much, that in this little cup, that's enough for like a 55-gallon tank.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So like in these smaller 20-gallon, a healthy pinch is enough. If I use this much in like a 20-gallon or less, it'd be a blackwater tank. Like,
where is that available at to get? Where would you find that at?
You can actually get this brand on Amazon. It's Natural Guard. It's made by Fertilone.
Oh, okay.
That's just cubic. And I add this with my other fertilizers into my soil that goes into the tanks, and I'll also use it in my garden as well. So if you're wanting to add some,
I bet that'd be good for like hydrangeas and stuff, wouldn't it?
Yep,
Yeah.
and tomatoes and melons, and blueberries, especially if you like those nitric feeders, peas, beans, blueberries, stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
it's good stuff for them. Yeah, little plug there for something that really helps a lot.
Oh yeah.
Just remember, a little goes a long way. That's the most important thing.
I noticed on Jimmy's stream last night, he was up with Skull Aquatics, and they were talking about a fertilizer powder that that Skull gets through Greg Sage at Select Aquatics. That was really you take a little bit of the powder and you mix it with the water. It's like, and it's supposed to be like the equivalent of the Aquarium Co-op Easy Green, but it's for like like pennies on the dollar compared to what you know.
I used to get that Nilo CG. It's called DIY dry ferts or whatever. I forget what the name was, but you could buy the pre-made mix bottles, and it was like the 2-cycle oil. Have you ever seen them kind of bottles where you squeeze it, and then the dosing container fills up, and then you pour it out? You know what I'm talking about?
Well,
anyway.
He's got it right. Oh yeah, he's got it right there. That's the same stuff you were talking about, Mark, right there. See that?
Yep. That's the same stuff. Yep, that's the same one I got.
Yeah, I remember seeing that when you showed that one time. But the stuff that he was doing, he took
I'll go get mine real quick.
Okay. I think Skull took a container of about half a quart, I think, and took a little teeny measuring spoon and added it to it, stirred it up, and that's enough to last him about, I think he said 2 months for his tanks. Oh,
Micros and macros.
Ah.
Yep.
LJ says everything is limbo and the fish in the building the fish room. Yep.
Responding to Jimmy here. There we go.
And then once it's built and you've got your tanks,
he was asking what humic
it's out
acid.
and buy fish.
Yeah.
I got him in chat.
That's another problem I have. I noticed that I want so many different kinds of fish. I mean, I got things queued up, ready to get, wanting to get, and I'm just like, I don't get them. That's one thing though. I got to say that I am proud of myself in this aspect is I won't buy something unless I have a tank set up and ready for it. But I tell you, it's kind of puts me under a little bit of a pressure to keep things moving. I just can't find, it's hard to be content when you want so much.
Yeah.
For me.
I mean, how hard is that? Want less.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to have a new tank.
What I've ended up just creating more and more and more tanks for the same stuff I've already got to make more of it, and that's what happens when it turns into a business.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we all rationalize it differently, whether it's a business or an addiction, or it could be both.
Yeah, it always starts off as an addiction, and it's like, hey,
Yeah.
I can make a little bit of money doing this, and it's like, oh,
That's right.
my paycheck. Oh.
You're paying. Yeah, you're paying for your. It helps pay your addiction to sell the stuff. You keep it going.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because there's no way. I mean, when I became a business and I figured out how much money I'm spending on utilities and stuff, oh my God.
Oh yeah, my electric bill went up
Thousands and thousands. Yeah.
And water bill too. For us, we're not on a well here, so we have to pay for our water.
I pay for my water and my sewer. Yeah.
Oh yeah, same here.
So my town, they have a little co-op, so I have my same bill is my water, my electric, my trash pickup, my water, and my sewer, and my electric. I think I said all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's like when the air conditioner's running in the summer like this, it's almost $600 a month. And it wouldn't be half. It wouldn't be half that without all these tanks.
Yeah.
The water bill, because your sewer bill gets if you go up and you're on a certain echelon, like if you're in the top so many percentage of people using water, you really get their all deal on the sewer bill. So my sewer bill's astronomical because I'm heavy for being a heavy water user.
Yeah. You can see why them videos are very popular now, can't you? Where the no water change videos. You can see why they're so popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but yeah, you see why. But every time I slowed down on water changes because when I used to work, there'd just be 2 weeks that's too busy to mess with it. Yeah. Everything slows down for me when I quit doing water changes. So I do it every week.
Yep. That's what got me to start going to the deep substrate and soil tanks. Is how can I save money? I have to save money.
Yeah.
Willing to to any extent that I need. So I even went filterless on some of my tanks, like no tech at all. Like have one in a window that's like the only light that it gets. And if it's not sunny outside, it doesn't get light. So, but yeah, the price is a huge factor in a lot of it, for sure. But we still convince ourselves sometimes. Whatever.
I mean, I really didn't know. My wife would always be bitching at me about, God dang, this bill's this high. And I was like, I don't, I'm just going to work and selling shrimp. I don't know. She always took care of that because I was always going out of town.
But just think about Mal and Andrew, though. Their electricity bill in the UK, they get killed over there.
Yeah. We probably have some of the cheapest electricity in the world, Jeff.
Yeah.
We probably do.
Yeah. Well, actually,
the cheapest electric bill out of everybody here, and it has gone up like 4 times the amount that it was a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I was paying under $100 a month for electricity.
Yeah, South America, down in South
Texas,
America, of course,
paying under $100 a month.
The wife just got home from work.
Oh, hello.
Hi, wife.
Hello, Mrs. Shelley. But because I remember when they had the energy clamp down on the guys in the UK. It's just
Yeah.
It
used to be like
it's not good.
I was tied into the gas price, so it's always governed by the gas price. Even though it's not made by gas anymore, it's governed by the gas price. And that's all they tell you. And it's a load of rubbish.
It all boils down to the man with the wallet and the greed. The guy that's he gets
who wants the big profits.
He makes all the money in the profits, and then all of a sudden, maybe the gas price goes back down. But you know what? He's like, well, I don't want to lower my price because I'm used to all this money now.
When I used to work for the electricity board, I used to go to people's houses and they used to pull out bills from the 70s, and it was like 2 and 6, like old-fashioned English money. How the hell did they actually make a profit back then?
Right.
Well, back then, my grandparents they'd buy a house for $5,500, and they and gas was 25 cents a gallon, but they made $1 16 an hour back then. You know, I mean,
I think the biggest mistake England made was when they when they privatised all the utilities. Because before that it all just went up with inflation and it was all right, 2% and things like that. But soon as you got the big corporations trying to make a profit, it was jumping up 20% twice a year and things like that.
Yeah, what used to be like a $350 bill, which is bad enough, it's now like $550. You know, even for me now.
I think the biggest mistake I've made, getting back to that question, Jeff, is buying a house with a water meter. Because in the UK, you've got a choice. If it's a newer house, you tend to get a water meter. But if it's an older house...
I honestly don't have that problem.
You would just pay the standard bill. So you could have a swimming pool and no one would say nothing weird.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. That's
I would
nice.
fill a bath. I'd fill a bath and be worrying.
The tank that's in the greenhouse, I've got water. It goes through a water filter, but it's constantly filling it up and it just siphons back out.
Yeah.
So it's always changing.
Yeah. You have a flow through.
I couldn't do nothing like that. Unless I was hooked up to the next door neighbours and didn't know.
Well, why didn't you run a pipe from here?
I used to have a pond outside of my old house, and I'd leave the hoses drip, drip, drip. And that pond is always crystal clear. But, you know, my water bill went up like $50 a month when I do that. It's like, you know.
We have 2 bathrooms in our home, and one is on the other side of the house we very rarely use. But the flapper in it had went bad, so it continuously had a little teeny small trickle of water coming in. Didn't even know it. Till we got our bill, it was $600.
Oh, I got a flapper story too. When we moved and was trying to sell the old place, so I was still going back every week or once a month or something and taking care, you know, make sure there wasn't spiders, you know, making sure everything was all right. Well, I went in there and we got the bill. I hadn't gone in there for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I was like, "What the hell? We just got like a $400 bill." For the place we don't even live in.
Yeah.
I got the flapper completely failed. The toilet was running full speed as fast as it could flush and as fast as it could fill up for 2 or 3 weeks since I'd gone in there. Oh no.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, that's well, you know,
sucked.
here, I mean, I'm thinking about putting those on my outdoor spigots. I'm thinking about putting those locks on it. Because they get most of the kids are pretty well behaved in the subdivision where I live at, but they prank like anybody else do. They could go around and turn the water on and take off running or something. Can you imagine how much money you'd have to spend on that?
Oh yeah,
flood you out. That's happened to one of our neighbors here in the past. So, I don't know if it was around Halloween time or something. Maybe they didn't have any candy out at the door or something, and the kids decided, well, trick or treat. Well, you're going to get a trick now. So, but they had the water and it was running down the street. I had to go down I knocked on the door. I said, hey, I just want to let you know that your water's running continuously here and it's running down the street. And they're like, oh my gosh. And I talked to them later on and they said their bill was right up there. It was like $300, which is a lot. Because normally doing my water changes down here, we do our laundry, our showers, everything, cooking. It usually runs around $70, $80 for our water a month.
Yeah.
And
that's not too bad, really. But how bad is your sewer bill? Because my sewer bill goes up way higher when I use a lot of water.
The sewer bill, that's locked into that's an escrow, I think, with our house payment, I believe.
Oh, I got you. So I got you.
Yeah, but we have to
so
pay the water.
You just have like a set amount. If you're on the water lines, you got to pay so much a month, and it's just part of your property taxes and escrow stuff. Right.
But no, the water does fluctuate. If I did twice the water change, I would notice a difference in my bill.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a set price. If when we went on vacation and we were gone for about 3 weeks, about a year ago or more, I had my friend come over and he said, don't change the water, just give him a little bit of food every day, which he overfed him anyhow.
Oh yeah.
But our water bill was only like maybe $30 a month at that point because I wasn't changing out all these gallons of water.
Yeah, ours was like 30 or 40 before I started getting crazy with fish tanks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, all this falls into play when we talk about our habits with this hobby. It all adds up.
Yeah.
Things to take into consideration when keeping a fish room or keeping multiple tanks.
So things I'm going to have to learn fast.
Yeah, it falls into play. It really does. It catches up.
For sure. Yeah.
Yes. So, right. Well, everybody, I don't know. Is there anything else we would like to discuss in today's meeting? I think we've covered quite a bit of ground. What about you, Andrew? Do you have anything?
Sorry, I was busy buying things for the fish room.
Oh, you were? Oh, okay.
For that one tank.
The one tank, yeah.
Yeah, right.
No,
yeah.
not necessarily the fish room, but when I do up there.
Oh, nice.
Do you have any special equipment? Sorry, Jeff, go on.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, do you have any special equipment that makes your water changes any easier, faster, any of that? Or is it just hose pipe and hook-ons?
Where is it?
Oh, for me? Are you talking to me?
Yeah, anyone?
Oh,
anyone with lots of tanks. So
I use the siphon.
Well, it's special because I have a little bit on the end.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you just use the one here.
That then goes into a yellow bucket.
Yeah.
But then I have.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting a water line into each tank.
Right. So these are water line there. I've got the white arrow water. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's nice, Mark.
Hang on a second.
If I had something like that, Mark, I could just run them all the way to the sink.
Yeah, that's what I do.
You got a float valve.
Oh, yeah.
But the only thing I found with these is that they can crack here.
Yeah.
So if they crack, then they don't hold and they pop up and you end up flooded out.
I have one of those
that
goes from my water reservoir where I mix my RO water to my Carradina tank. That's how I have one of those in my Carradina tanks.
But all I do is just, because it's all filtered, so they just automatically fill back up again. But all I need to do is just empty the tanks and they get on with filling themselves back up.
I empty with this pump on a Python hook with quick connects.
That's a good idea. The pump.
And this is this goes to a garden hose, this one goes to a garden hose to the bathtub, and then this goes to the regular Python to fill. And there's a few tanks where I ain't got enough room to get this in, so I remove water with this too. So this is suck and fill, mostly fill, and this is emptying with the pump.
I'm still doing the 5-gallon bucket brigade. I emptied the tanks.
Oh, Jeff. You got a basement drain. You need to just suck that water down to the drain.
Yeah.
Well, that's keeping me in shape. Keeps me a little exercise.
You don't even need a pump. You can just gravity do it to the drain on the floor.
Oh yeah, because
you just need a hose.
Oh yeah, I got a hose. I got a long enough hose. Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I got
you
a hose.
also need to keep plenty of these on nearby.
Not for the tanks, for your sweat.
Yeah, I carry the buckets to the sink, dump them, but I fill it up with a hose, so that's easy. I don't have to run the tank. Filling it up with buckets is harder than actually emptying it. But
just unhook it from the sink and run it to the drain, and there you go.
That's what I'm going to do.
So what about? I know you've had a couple of major floods.
Oh yeah.
With the sump pump, I had one about 2-3 months ago. I had a major one, a big one, and it was in this room as well. And I got a bollocking for it, and I haven't had one since. But what other floods have you guys had? You know, Al, have you ever flooded anything out?
No, sorry, yes. I left me RO water running and went to bed. It is 10 litres an hour. And then I think I was watching either Jeff's live stream or Andrew's live stream.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
I just totally forgot about it, and I'm lying in bed and I thought, Jesus, but it was only 10 litres or something that I had wasted, an hour's worth of water through the RO unit.
I used to fall asleep with tanks filling when I was working a lot. Still trying to take care of the tanks. Yeah. Ended up with a bunch of endlers on the floor one time from it because they just go right over the side because they're always up there at the top.
We're free.
Let's go down the waterfall. Splat on the floor.
I was actually thinking about putting a dedicated water line to each tank, so I could just have so much hose pipe from that into the hole in the lid.
Yeah.
And then obviously just use your hook on the thing to go into the. I'll probably run it off the same as what the washing machine would have been in the garage, so I'll probably use the same drainage. Is that?
Oh yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
I have my dehumidifier sitting on top of my dryer going to my washer drain.
Right.
Yeah.
That's something I need to get down here. I have a whole house dehumidifier, but I want to get an extra one for right in the middle of the fish room down here because it's humid down here.
Oh yeah, I mean that's another thing you got to take into account when you start getting a bunch of tanks. That'll destroy your house real quick.
Right.
It's just.
I'll have to get one of them then. At the minute, I'm all right because there's a big gap around the garage door, which lets
keeps humidity out.
Keeps the humidity going the right way.
Fresh air circulation.
Yeah.
But once I get that changed and it's insulated down there, it's going to be a different story. So I'll let you look into getting a dehumidifier as well. Because it doesn't sound much, but just off the 2 tanks alone, I probably lose about 20 litres.
Oh yeah.
In about 4 days, just off.
In the winter, when the furnace is running and it's really because we can get way below zero here.
Yeah.
Like we can get like negative 20 Fahrenheit, which is, I don't know.
I'm not sure what it is telling you. Yeah. It's cold.
Yeah, and that furnace runs non-stop.
Yeah.
And I'll lose like 4 inches of water in a week in my tanks, and that's a lot of water.
But what I found, Mal, was because I had the same issue last year with the tanks. Basically, they were all open.
Sorry, tank.
Yeah.
No.
You haven't got a problem. You've got a tank.
No, I've got one tank.
All right.
All the rest are Donna's.
See, it's all coming out now.
Yeah. So.
That's how Andrew got away with it right there.
Yeah.
These are my tanks. These are your tanks.
Yeah, the Donna's tanks. Yeah, not mine.
You at all.
I just get paid to maintain them.
There you go. It's the champion.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So I found that there were 2 reasons. Was one, obviously, the heat escape. So keeping the heat in there. But also stopping the evaporation, because what I did find was, and when I eventually take over up there, then I'll show you what's these tanks behind me have done. It's all got to be redecorated. We did have a lot of damp issues up there, and it's the highest point you see in the house, so. So there is, so all that's to be dealt with to start off with. But because there won't be the racking up there that Donna's been using for her crafts, it means that this air circulation will be better as well. And plus I'll be up there. So, it gets a bit warm up there. I can just open the window.
Ooh.
Right.
A little Velux window up there. Oh.
Right.
But, all right. Yeah, but you might find that you put some covers over, whether it's a sheet of glass or, I mean, for you, from where your lights are, it's probably easier just to put a sheet of glass over. For me, it wasn't too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have perspex, you know, the double wall perspex stuff that you get, the corrugated stuff, like tightly fitted, and I used to lose next to nothing in evaporation. It just went back in the tank. But
yeah, I mean,
when you have like pothos sticking out and stuff like that, you want to have a little bit better.
Yeah, I've just got clear perspex on that one, but I miscalculated on the. I mean, it's only 30 centimetre by 30 centimetre, and I think it's probably about 3 mil in thickness. Don't know if run off from my tape measure. I know it's there. Let me see, 2 or 3.
28.9.
3 mil. It's 3 mil. But what I found was.
Depends. That's what I like the double walled stuff, the corrugated perspex for. It tends to hold its shape a lot better.
Yeah, I think if this was thicker, it probably would do. So I was using.
I'm not too sure because I think is it Ben O'Shot? He had some. When I was watching one of his videos, is it Ben O'Shot?
Ben O'Chart, yeah.
Yeah, he had some, and he had quite a thick perspex, but you had to keep on changing it over every so many days.
Turn it upside down, yeah.
To get rid of the bend. Any case, sorry for hijacking that question.
Oh, no, you didn't. No, that's good.
Well, guys, I got to get off here. My wife's home from work.
You know what? Actually, it is time right now. It's actually 5 o'clock.
Start wrapping it up.
I think we all fed our addiction pretty well this session, and like I said, it's a.
Nice to meet you, Mark.
The problem is the cure. It's never cured and it's never solved. So it just keeps like a journey. It keeps going and going, and so.
Does that mean I can buy more then?
You can, but just make sure you check with your sponsor if you get in trouble.
Who's the sponsor?
Well, that would probably be you might be Donna. You might want to check with her first.
Yeah.
Well,
mine puts up with a lot.
I am so lucky there that if I said I need a tank, or you need another tank, then it wouldn't be a problem.
See, I've got to sneak them in me.
See you guys.
See you, Mark. Hey, thanks a lot, Mark. Appreciate it. Yeah, see, that's the same with me. My wife's an enabler.
Yeah.
And, if I want another tank or something, she'll be like, yeah, go ahead and get that, set it up.
Mine's not. Mine's I've got to sneak them in.
Oh, really? That's good.
Yeah.
That's actually better. That's better.
Yeah. I've got to give cause, motive, everything before I get one in.
Yeah. Well, that's.
But it reminds me of a friend that I had, and she had, what was it she had? She used to go shopping for clothes, and she'd get home, put them in the wardrobe, and dispose of the wrapping, packaging and stuff like that, yeah. And I once said to her, I says, well, how do you get away with it? What do your husband say? Well, he doesn't know. What do you mean he doesn't know? I just get it out of the wardrobe, and she says, is that new? She says, no, I've had it 6 months. And she's only had it a week.
Yep.
Yeah. They're just as crafty as us.
Oh, more.
Yeah.
My wife disappears.
And they always have they always like shoes.
Yeah, for mine, my wife likes she works on the internet. She works doing courses on the internet, so she likes to buy fancy software tools to use, and so every time she gets something like that, well, then it gives me a chance to improve on my fish room a little.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, I'm getting this, so you can have that, and kind of back and forth,
Yeah.
My wife's handbags. So when I went to Vegas, she had us going around shops in Vegas with my phone. Do you like that one? 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 Where's my winnings going?
And you get back here and say, well, I'm going to I like this tank now. You got all these bags, so I'm going to get this nice tank for this.
It's in a big box, a glass one.
Yes, that's right.
If you sell some of your bags, I'll get rid of it.
Thank you,
Debs is in
Debs,
chat,
very
so-
much.
Yeah, no, that's good. But what we can do is just ask Debs. What is it? What's the one thing that you keep buying? Is it shoes, handbags?
Let's see if she's still here.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if she.
I'm
She
going to
will be.
say it's candy striped Legos.
Oh, yeah.
That was a beautiful one she's bought.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
When was that?
She has a beautiful aquarium.
Probably about 2 weeks ago, I think she bought it.
All right, I've missed that. I think. Fish and crystals. I suppose the crystals come from Australia.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fish and crystals.
All right.
Yeah.
Fish and crystals.
I'm big on that.
And
I'm
hello,
into, like,
Melvin.
the mysticism of crystals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But me and my wife and my kids, like our dream vacations are centered around like where we can go rock hound and nature and stepping into stream, getting under waterfalls and stuff like that. But yeah, like going and like digging for crystals, we love that. We love it. Like a lot of my skates, like my little bowls and stuff that are back here, were all done with slate and stuff that I find when we go on vacation. Like this was all one big piece of slate that I broke down into small pieces to make like these little microscapes. But I do those to challenge my hand because I'm missing a finger and my hand doesn't straighten all the way.
I was meaning to ask Tommy, how did you do that?
Oh, I was fighting a grizzly bear in the Arizona outback, and if you believe that, you would believe that I was.
You need a good backstory, though, don't you?
Always pay your gambling debts, people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I was a pro bowler.
Yeah. No, it was a table saw. When I was 16. I was
Easy
pushing
done.
a board. I was pushing a board across, but instead of it going straight, I was cutting at an angle, and it flipped over and slammed this hand down on the blade like
hit bad
5 times.
Yeah.
Well, I had a lucky escape.
Ones.
I don't know if you can see. I think it'll show up on camera. Oh yeah, just here. There's a
I see
scar.
it. Yep.
And that was a table saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They're mean.
yeah, but literally it was just a graze.
Yeah.
But it scarred. And then afterwards you think it could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It could have been like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got myself shaving this morning right here.
It's yours, isn't it? Who's got the biggest scars on the board?
Oh, there we are.
She broke my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think myself.
been on that competition. I'm scarred up from head to toe. I even have scars on my face, like the little divots and stuff in my face are from because I had chicken pox at like 3 years old, and like one of the worst cases of chicken pox.
I thought you was going to say that it was the missus that had, keeps hitting you.
She clocked me a couple of times. She would. If I got out alive, she would. She probably would. She wouldn't hesitate to smack me right back down to earth.
Yeah. I had chickenpox when I was 21 and I had it really bad.
Oh.
I was still living with my mum and dad at the time, and the doctor apparently come to see us, and I was missing 3 days with fever. So I can't even remember the doctor coming to see us. But apparently they had us at hospital and back home. But I can't remember none of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I had them on my eyeball, everywhere.
Oh.
Inside your mouth. Couldn't breathe for it. But it was really bad at 21.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is bad. And I tell you what's bad too is the shingles.
Shingles,
I've had shingles, yeah.
Partly prone them on you after having chickenpox for.
Yeah, I had them. Yep. And I thought I was having a heart attack because the shingles I had, they were internal. They weren't a rash on the skin, so you didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
All I had was this crushing sensation from front to back, and I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't even sit up without being in excruciating pain. And we're at the house. I was at the hospital, and they were checking it all out. And they couldn't figure out what it was until they did a blood sample and they tested something right away. And all I remember is they rushed me into this tiny room away from everybody, and they come in with a massive shot of morphine. It didn't do anything for it. And they started giving me Dilaudid and a bunch of other stuff. And finally, the pain went away because it was so bad I couldn't even breathe hardly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, Scruffy City. Hey, Mitch, how you doing? Welcome.
What's up, Mitch? SCAOG. We have the same initials in our name.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He says culling is some of his hard times. Culling fish.
I have a hard time with it. Like, I'm a country boy, and I raise my own protein and slaughter my own birds and stuff. And every time I do it, like, I'm not going to lie, I still have nightmares every single time that I do it.
Yeah, it's hard. But, it's hard to survive, though, with the prices in the grocery stores without, you're doing what you're doing for your family. You're feeding your family. And it's hard. It's that could be a real rough thing. I mean, the price of food now is just astronomical. And fish food is expensive, too. I can tell you that. It's my monthly bills, it gets up there. I got so many, my plecos, I have so many plecos breeding right now that they go through a lot. And I feed them fresh vegetables, too, and that costs money.
That's all I feed mine are vegetables from the garden. Cucumbers, green beans, peas, stuff like that. The only food that I buy is bug bites, and I get the medium-sized bug bites, even though I have small fish. Get medium size, and if it's for the small fish, I just crumble it up in my fingers and put a little bit in the tank. And if they need a little bit more, I just crumble up a little bit more. But everything else is like stuff grown from here or cultured from here or grown out in my outside ponds or stock tanks or something like that. Like I get little red wigglers, I get bloodworms, we get daphnia, I get tiny little copepods, all kinds of cool little stuff. And and especially during like the cooler months, not right now. We're amidst the worst of our heat wave right now, but during the cooler months or when there's a little bit of shade, which I'm trying to revive them. Like 2 of my ponds dried up and I've got them back full of water again, hoping to revive them. So that way I can actually have food that I don't have to purchase for the fish again. I'm working on seeding some tanks. Like this one right here, I've seeded. My tanks that I have outside, not my tanks, but my totes and buckets and stuff that I have outside are little inflatable pools that are, like 6 foot wide. Like algae and muck and all kinds of stuff in those. And then if you lift up the algae right on the underside of the algae, all of this life is living just right on the underside of that algae. So I'll just reach in and grab a handful of that algae, stick it in the tank, and just kind of shake it around so that it all spreads all throughout.
That's where you build a food web. Build a food web. That's what it does. And I like that. That's what I do with my scuds, and I got some other things too that I want to get some blackworms and start culturing them.
Yes. And grindle worms too. I'd love to have some grindle worms.
I'm just getting into the live stuff. I'm just doing the baby brine shrimp right now, and the scuds. Other than that, I'm gonna start getting into some other ones. So, but
there's all kinds of stuff to use. Like if you've got fire ants or termites or anything like that, any type of ant, find where their nest is. The eggs from the ants, your fish will go nuts.
Nuts for them.
Oh wow!
Absolutely nuts for insect eggs and stuff like that, especially ants. So if you can find a spot like that, you're good too. There's more fire ants than there are. There's probably more fire ants in Texas than there are people in the world.
It probably is. I wouldn't doubt it.
There's probably more fire ants in my town than there are people.
That's right. Yeah, there's got to be more than, what is it, 7 billion people in the world right now? 7 or 8, something like that?
Getting close to 8,
Getting close to 8 billion. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's just hope it doesn't get reduced too quickly, too soon. You never know what's happening in the world, but. Well, gentlemen, I think.
You can just go to another planet.
Yeah. eventually. It'll be after our time. Well, my time anyway. I don't know about you guys, but it'll be after my time. But we probably should wrap it up here, guys, because right now we're past my time. I'm not sure if anybody was going to stream after me or not, but I think we covered a lot of good points tonight.
It's been a good show, Jeff.
Yes.
It's been nice having other guests on.
Yes, it is. Very nice.
Rather than me and him.
It's nice having everybody.
Yeah.
So I think the conclusion is that we've all just got one tank.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Denial is the first.
Insert number.
One tank room.
Yeah,
One
that's
tank.
right.
Yes.
One one tank room. Yeah, I got one fish room right now.
Yeah.
It's when I get spread to other rooms now. Actually, I lied about that too, so that is a denial. I have another one upstairs, but it's in my office. I got 5 tanks, but
Will you be okay making it to next week without seeing your sponsor?
oh, I don't know. If I get the shakes, I'll reach out. I'll reach out for help if I need it. Yes.
Okay.
Well, everybody, thank you so very much, everyone.
Do you want to end with your
And,
statement? Jeff, do you want to end with your statement like you normally do?
Yes. Okay. Everybody, don't forget to feed yourself. Don't forget to feed your family, and don't forget to feed your addiction. Until next week, stay safe, and we'll see you later.
Ta-ra.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have we gone?